Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today I'm with Susan, and we are discussing, we're discussing the second season of Star Trek Picard. There is the Sir Patrick Stewart. All hail Sir Patrick Stewart. This 10-part season just recently finished airing and broadcasting. So we thought, you know what, we're going to sit down and discuss the full season. And if you haven't seen it, there may be some spoilers. But what do you expect on these YouTube
reviews?
Yes.
Yeah, if you're watching a review, you should probably figure out that there's going to be spoilers.
So don't come complaining to us that we spoiled everything for you. So there's your spoiler alert. So this season starts so many. Was it a year or so after the last season, and everything seems to be all working out for everybody until something strange happens in outer space.
John Delancey happened.
Oh yes, we're gonna go and go Q crazy. So we'll go over to Susan and open your thoughts, Susan. Picard season 2.
Well, Picard season 2 is it's a feast of sight. First of all, there is a character death that really gets retconned, just like it was Doctor Who. But you know, when you're dealing with somebody, or Dr. Q, because he's like the therapist, the psychologist for the younger Picard. Oh my gosh, or older, depending on how you put time in your head. She's either way younger or way older. Anyway, that's just a matter of time travel. That's the trouble with time travel. It's like a tribble. It's growing pregnant and it changes every time. Anyway, and I don't know what I'm talking about. But it was just really fun. It was really fun because some of it had to do with back in 2024, and so that's like they could do that because that's a year in advance. And so we're going to be looking out for some watchers and some supervisors and some Guinans and some problems with Q and some connections with Borgs and
travelers as well.
Yeah, there's Romulans and there's there's a lot of everybody at the very beginning because they're all doing their wonderful selves in search of how things have changed. And then Q shows up, and Q is like, oh my gosh, he's like, the test never ended. Oh my gosh, what? Really? Okay, here we go. We're gonna get tested again.
Yeah.
Or apparently we're still being tested. And I think that when you're making sense of a soul test, and you're doing that whilst traveling around in space and time and whatever, you've got a lot of opportunities for difficulties. And I think that it was really good what they did with Picard, as they never had to like explain how he was a robot to anybody else, or an android. They didn't have to explain that to anybody else because he never ended up in the hospital, but everybody else kind of did. That was interesting. And Rios and his friend, after he crash landed on the planet and then teleported to some sort of place in LA, so like going around the planet or through the planet or whatever, however that transporter worked. You know, he fell on a fire escape and broke his fall. His fall was broken by a bar, but it was still, you know, he still looked like he was about dead, and they dragged him into a hospital. And then he met a woman who was like running a free immigration status, basically status free hospital or medical facility, medical clinic, and she was a good doctor. She was a really good doctor. She fixed him up, and but then they needed a little help from Agnes Girardi, aka the Borg Queen. And the Borg Queen was the way that they got back in time. But the interesting thing was that, you know, I think that you had said that it was a Borg Queen way in advance of that actually being shown, because you said that she kind of looks like the Borg Queen, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame it didn't have it on any recording, but I did say must have been episode 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Jurati, that's the Borg Queen on the bridge.
Yep.
And of course, the big reveal near the end of the series was, yes, she did become the Borg Queen.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, I can read into these things.
Yeah, and the Borg were at the very beginning. You know, the Borg were they're still like afraid of the Borg and stuff, but then they skip to like went to sleep one night, and then the very next minute, after Q was around, they were in a totalitarian dictatorship, much like 1984, and they were talking about these executions. That the executions were actually like what was happening in Trial of the Time Lord, which was all these executions on television was just entertainment, and the executions in person was like a rock concert. And so, I mean, like that little bit there, that was really hard to do. That was hard to go around. And then there was all the stuff about Picard and his childhood, and that was really interesting. And I don't know. Yeah, it's back over to you. What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I really enjoyed this season. Far more than I did the first season. I enjoyed the first season, but I enjoyed this one even more.
Cool.
Because it went more into the backstory of Picard, which I found a bit strange, because I think I mentioned to you before, it was making it out like he was a only child.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
He had a brother in the next generation.
Yeah.
But for some reason they've forgotten about that brother. But it was good to see Q back. It was good to see Garnon back.
Oh, Guinan, like in the 10 forward, that was hilarious.
Yeah. You know, getting Picard onto his first starship, the Stargazer. You know, he was back there because nobody, this alien would only talk to Picard, which there's a lot in this season what harks back to the original Star Trek stuff. You know, the slingshot around the sun, the time traveling, coming back to the old Earth. It was all Star Trek Voyager and
Yes.
Rios getting hospitalized like Chekhov did.
Like Chekhov.
Yeah, And I was watching it, I think, oh, it's a good nod back to that. Even the punk on the bus
Uh-huh.
was in this
Yeah.
from Voyage Home.
Yeah.
The same guy.
Yeah. And the same band that he's playing on the
Yeah.
on his boombox.
So someone does. I mean, okay, they forgot about Picard's brother, but otherwise are a fan of the movies.
Yeah.
A little bit, a little bit there, a little bit there. Let's put that there. Let's put that there. Just keep the fans, going. Ooh, a little Easter egg.
That was sweet.
But yeah, the going into Picard's childhood and why he was like he was, and going into his mind, he's trapped in his mind. Was a great couple of episodes. Um, trying to save his future, he had to save his past. For Rene, his ancient relative, going into space.
Yeah.
Great, great writing.
And Renee was the name of the nephew in the Generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a little nods here, little nods there. And to find out that Q is dying.
Oh, I know.
Was a bit upsetting to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
And for him to turn around and say, "You care?" Was it you? I can't remember what he said now, but Picard was his favorite.
Yeah.
I care about you, sort of thing. And then that hug.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. But just to see Delancey back as Q. Okay, he didn't get up to much as mischief as he did in the TV, in the old TV series. But to have him there in several episodes, what a presence!
Yeah.
And also Spiner as well, back as what's his face? Oh, what's his name?
As soon as
Yeah.
soon.
You're going about, you can't remember words, I can't remember names. But yeah, to have him back as soon, but to make that character quite detestable.
Well, he was the second baddie in the stream.
Yeah.
I mean, he became he played a badass villain.
Yeah.
To be honest.
I mean, to do that because we all know him as Data,
Yes.
but to change the character and make him do that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
So thumbs up to the writers on that, whoever came up with that idea.
It really was. That was great.
And spoilers, Project Khan.
Khan. Yeah.
But and
so I mean, like it's like he needed they did end up telling the story of how this one who had completely been involved with eugenics and genetic manipulation and premature death and all that stuff, trying to overcome whatever weakness was in like Soji and whatever her name was to begin the first one, those two android sisters of Data or daughters of Data's, and then there's like this there's a bunch of how how she there was just somebody there at the beginning with, you know, before Khan that looked just like just like those two daughters. So I mean, like, there's just, it's like that character will always be paired with either another one of his daughter looking, or, you know, just all that throughout time. And it's like I guess, you know, if Girardi excuse me, if Girardi and the Borg Queen could be a double act, then so could Spiner and the other lady. Like, they could do double acts all the way along. And as the double act of you know, okay, now I'm losing it. Of Seven and Rafi, those two could be a double act. I mean, it's fun. It's watching all these pairings, and they always choose the same actor to play the other characters, like way back in time, or like, except for Guinan. Guinan got a new face in this.
A younger face.
A younger face. She was played by a different actress, and so, I mean, they didn't de-age Whoopi, but they did, like, set a totally different character as her, and that was fun. And yeah,
I was surprised that early on in the season they killed Elnorth, because he was a brilliant character in the first season. I wasn't expecting him to be killed off.
No, I know. And
but time works in strange ways when Q's involved as well. So
yeah, you could retcon things. And like, the other thing that that was interesting was that to go back to Guinan, was that Guinan had a pit bull as her guard dog, and so did Picard in the first season. He had a dog, a companion dog that was a pit bull, and named Number One. So that was fun.
It's on your T-shirt, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is the pit bull? There we are. You see?
Yeah, cute dog.
Cute dog. But it was just it was storytelling, action, adventure, time travel, consequences of messing with time.
Oh, and a board ship shaped like a vagina. I mean, it was like the opposite. Okay, like we've had nothing but penises forever in space flight, but now we got a vagina. So that's fan-fucking-tastic.
And it opened up like.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Exactly right.
Well, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen something like that, so I can't remember if that's exactly how it looks.
It's not as technological as all of that, but yeah.
Oh my God.
No, isn't that cool?
Cool. Star Trek Picard episode. The Star Vagina.
Yeah, the Star Vagina. That's right. And it really was. It turned into like those, like a star, like big, glorious.
But for me as well, as you say, you've mentioned the double act, Raffi and 7 and 9. But also, we have mentioned it slightly with the Borg Queen and Durati.
Yep.
Great.
Melting together.
Oh yeah, clashing of personalities and becoming one. Great acting.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
It was amazing. Just to see.
Oh. And there was also Picard and the woman, and his love interest from the later time and then back in time, and then she's there again with the same face.
Was it Renee? Because the one had to die and one had to survive.
Yeah, that too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's just the way, as you said, they sort of paired characters off, which worked so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good to see as well that a couple of these episodes was directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Yeah, and also by Leah Thompson, who's in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And she was in it too. She played that admiral or whatever.
So
fantastic.
Yeah,
and you also get that little cameo from
10 years ago, maybe 15 years.
somebody become a traveller.
Yep.
A Mr. Crusher.
Oh, and Wesley as a Time Lord.
But unexpected until
so right, it was so good.
But I am looking forward to it. I really am. I don't know where they're going to go with it, but we know that what actors are going to be in it. But what storyline they're going to have, I don't know. So, anything else, Susan?
No, it was a great thing. It was a great story.
Yeah.
And I just have a lot of respect for Jerry Ryan and how she's allowed the character to grow. And Picard is sometimes it's like the pain in his face is too much to bear. Patrick Stewart eating your heart as well as eating the scenery. That's really hard to. It's just the stories that they told as it's just a normal everyday thing in the next generation. He was still heartbreaking in this. I mean, it really was. It was great.
What do you mean? The way they dealt with the mental side of his mother, mentality of her killing herself, and was quite really well done, and the lighting and everything, and that was just so sublime. I thought it was shot amazingly. So
yeah.
If you haven't got anything else, shall we go final say?
Yeah, sure. For all its really good points, the wonderful thing that Delancey brought and Picard into Picard. I'll give this a 9.5 Q's out of 10 because the test never ends.
Hopefully it doesn't, and this is not the last time we see Q.
I know.
Fingers crossed. I enjoyed it. As I say, I enjoyed it more than I did the first season, and I loved the first season. So this is going to get 10 sun slingshots out of 10. You can't go wrong. You've got Q, you got Garner, you've got Wesley Crusher, for God's sake. You've got Picard. It was just a good 10 episode season.
And all of the original from the next gen, they're all coming back for season 3.
Season 3, yeah. So I just don't know what's going to happen in that season, but we know they're all in there. So that's going to be one hell of a story. So yeah, so that's our little review of Picard season 2. I've really enjoyed talking about this. I mean, I'm an original Star Trek fan. You know, Kirk is always going to be for me, but Picard is really up there with him. So those two captains for me are always going to be there. So I'd like to thank Susan for joining me
Why, certainly, sir.
and getting involved in all things Picard. You guys out there, let us know if you've seen the full season. Let us know what you thought of it. What you thought of, seeing the old stars come back, Picard return. Leave us a message below. We're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, of course, and Instagram. Please, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please press the bell notification button and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. And finally, if you want to join us, be 18 plus, have a PC, tablet, a laptop, or a mobile phone with a working camera and microphone, and you're good to go. So until next time, keep traveling out there. See you. Bye bye for now.